Welcome to hashtag Grow Your Life live sessions. Today I want to share with you about modeling success, getting mentors, learning, going through trainings. I see a lot of people doing this. There's a huge market for it. Myself personally, I benefit from this by selling courses and things like that. But I see so many people that model success incorrectly and then end up confused as to why they're not able to reach their goals. And the reason why is most people are actually never taught how to model success. So for you to know how to model success correctly, you have to actually know how to. For you to do so, you have to know how to. So most people believe by schooling, by how they were raised, that you learn something, you acquire skill and knowledge, and then you go practice it. But we all know that that's not true, because experience brings so much more than what a textbook, a training, or anything can do. And this is where the core issue of modeling success and learning and education are flawed, and yet just shifting your perspective a little bit can get you 10 times, 100 times the result, and end the confusion, the spinning in circles of wondering, am I doing it right? Not getting ahead, not getting the results. I'm so saddened by this. There's so much resource out there. There's so much available to people for free and at a low cost to help them get results, and yet most people don't. This is a statistic, is that most people will fail when they start a business. And the reason is this, I believe, is they're trying to model successful businesses without the context, without the history, without the process to learn what it takes. So for example, let me give you a perfect example here. Ford Motor Company, General Motors, okay? That's an example. If you started a car company today, I'm going to start Xenon Car Company, okay? I'm going to create a website. I'm going to pre-sell some automobiles, and 6 months later, nobody's bought from me. Why? Well, there's no history. There's no context. There's no proof of knowing, is this actually going to be made? Is it going to be a safe car? Is this just a, anything like that? And when I see that happen a lot with business owners, they'll model people like myself or even other mentors out there, and they will try to do live videos, make a Facebook group, launch a website, launch a course, and yet they don't get results because they're modeling the what without context. You see, creating a website, creating a domain name, putting it up there for people does not get results. It looks like success. It looks like results. If you compared side by side, they could even look the same. And this is where people need to realize how it feels is more important than how it looks. And people can tell when something is real and legitimate and will get them results versus just something that is supposed to look like what it gets results. And this is where context and process comes from. Over time, when people try to skip ahead of the process, just model what is successful, copy and paste into and it's supposed to get them the result, that's what they're expecting, it fails. And the reason is this: they haven't gone through the history. They haven't gone through the process. They haven't gone through the step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're trying to go from step 1 to step 10. And when you do that, there's a chasm there, and you fall in the chasm and you fail. And that's why so many people are confused, is they end up in this chasm of confusion between step 1 and 10 because they never went to step 2. They never went to step 3. They never went to step 4. They didn't have the experience, or they didn't get a mentor to help guide them to step 2, step 3, step 4, out of either fear, worry, shame, guilt, whatever that is. They're either worried of doing it wrong, they're too prideful to ask for help, or they feel like, well, as soon as I get here, then I will have the context. But they never have the context to get here in the first place. And that's where people miss it with modeling success. The correct way is this: look at step 1. How did somebody decide to create their brand, create their company? Why did they choose to sell what they're selling? You see, you're missing all the context that came before. And that's where mentorship comes from. If somebody tries to just direct copy the things that success looks like, they will be spinning in circles trying to be successful because they look like, it feels like to them, but to everybody else, it doesn't feel like that because there's no history, there's no context, there's no process. And the correct way to model success is to dig really deep inside yourself. Be vulnerable as to what you don't know, what you need to learn, what you need to discover. Look at, if I was starting today, if I was that person, if I was that I'm trying to model, how would I do it? Instead of modeling and copying and pasting exactly as somebody does for yourself, I prefer templatizing. So we have a template, a model here. There's a difference between modeling and templatizing. And this is where I think so many people miss it, is when you model success, you're essentially trying to plagiarize somebody else's success and reap their same benefits without doing the work. And that's where people fail so often. Instead, look at the model as a template, but you still have to do the inner work inside yourself. Discover, what does the marketplace need? Do they want what I have? What can I best serve with? What are my best skills? What are my strengths? What is the thing I can be the best in the world at right now? What do people come to me and ask questions for all the time? You see, so often we look at, oh, I could do that better than they are, and yet we haven't done it before. And I get that because I want to tell you this, I've been that way myself for a very long time. And most of the times I can look at what somebody else is doing and say, I could probably do that better. To be honest, I believe that I could do anything better, limitless possibilities than anybody else. That's great. But, and this is the big but, I don't sell short the context. I don't sell short the process. Sometimes I get a little impatient. I want to skip ahead, but I realize and I recognize that the process is what gets you there. So when you're modeling success, look at it as a template, not a copy and paste to skip from step 1 to 10, but rather, how can I walk down a unique path the same way that the person who's come before me has, learn from their mistakes, stand on their shoulders. That's just standing on the shoulders of giants here, to then go further than to where their ceiling becomes my floor. But at the same time, I still need to press in deeply, vulnerably, and ask myself, what is the context? What is the history? What don't I know that they've experienced before they even started? You see, so often most people, when they're modeling success, they're looking at somebody's chapter 10. They model their chapter 10 in their chapter 1, but they're missing the whole first 9 chapters that got them there. And so you need to press in real deep with yourself when you're modeling success. What is the context? What is the history? What gets me here? How can I help serve people? And ask those 2 questions. How can I help serve other people? And who can help me get to where I need to go? And that's where mentorship comes in, is learning from those that have been there before you, asking for help, asking for questions, not being so prideful in yourself that your ego is so big that you won't ask for help. You know, that's why I created my course, my website building course. And this isn't a pitch for that, but I've been building websites for the last 15, actually, since I was 7 years old. I'm 31 now, so 7 years old, that is 24 years building websites. I've learned a thing or two. And I put that all into a course for people to help them get the context. I actually have the first 4 chapters to help people understand the context of how to build a website the way they need to, getting their mind right, thinking in a way. Because if I just taught people how to without getting them through the process and the context, I would have sold them short and left them hanging and wanting more and not getting results. And that's why my promise is that course gets people results. I know it is, and it's the best in the world at doing that. So, but for you, this, to model success, whatever you're going after, whatever your goal is, wherever you're trying to get to in your life and in your business, you need to appreciate the context. Look inward, deep inside of you. What's the history? What's the process? And how can I get from where I am to where I need to be? What don't I know now? What do I need to learn? What do I need to seek out? And go deep personally in your own personal time to discover this. I can't tell you that for you. Now you can ask me questions. I have my Grow Your Life group. My Grow Your Life group is where people can ask questions. I'm 100% available to help mentor you for free in there. That's what this is for. That's what the podcast is for. That's what these videos are for. But if you don't ask, you won't get the results. You won't get the context. So I want to invite you to dive deep. Ask yourself, why am I not asking the questions? Why aren't you asking the right questions? Dig deep there. Start there. And as you start to model success, use it as a template to build your own unique, 100% authentic, true to only you, and only you are the only person on planet Earth that can be the very best you. Not a copy of somebody else, not a model of somebody else, but the best version of you, and then use a template of what somebody else has done to accelerate your success faster, to stand on their shoulders. Acceleration is about getting there faster, but it's not about skipping steps. You can't skip steps in the process of acceleration or you will fail. So I hope this encourages you. Join my community, the Grow Your Life community. I'm going to leave a link in the comments and in this post. Can't wait to see you there. And I want to help you grow. That's why I created that. I want to help 100,000 people make $1 million. And I believe that this is the first step of that. The first step in that process is that group, my podcast, and these videos that I'm doing every single day. Grow your life, everybody, and we'll talk soon. I'll see you tomorrow morning.